to share my screen here. Just a second. Okay, so, whoops, there we go. So what you see in front of you is command. And let me adjust my screen. One of the reasons that, I pulled up command is because this is the way that I recommend getting to Docusign. And so just so I can do a check, can everybody hear my sound okay? Okay, beautiful. If you have any questions as I'm going through this, feel free to unmute. But what I'm doing is I'm going to walk you through this as if you had a client and you need to fill out a Docusign. So what I typically tell people is you should already start an opportunity for that person the moment that they mention they want to buy or sell real estate. So prior to that, they're already in your contacts as someone that you know. But now that they're in your contacts, the moment they say, oh, I want to buy or sell real estate, they come in here. And if you look, I have 11 people that I'm cultivating who are ready to purchase a home. They are not doing anything right now. They're either 1 month out, 1 to 3 months out, 3 to 6 months out, or 6 months or more. So they're just sitting here. Now, let's say, usually I add my husband in here, but I didn't. So let me go back and add him in here. So you'll click create an opportunity. So let's say, I'm going to use Marissa for this example. Let's say Marissa says, you know what? I'm thinking that I want to buy a house. Okay, great. There she is. And I'm just leaving her in there. Opportunity name is just Marissa. That's it. Only thing I fill in is this. And then when is her time frame? Or did I have an appointment active? So let's just say active. And I'm showing her homes create. She's just going to sit here. Marissa's just going to sit here until she's ready to go forward and create and submit a contract, which she says, okay, I'm ready. Now I got to get her over into Docusign. So what I do is I come back here. I find her. She would have been under active. Those are my appointments. Active. There she is. Click on her. And she says, okay, I'm ready. What do I need to do? How should I move forward? What exactly do you need from me? So the first thing I'm going to tell her to do is, okay, Marissa, now I need to get you over that buyer's representation agreement that we talked about so that we can go ahead and submit your offer, which I would have had this already before we started. So first thing you do is you click on documents. And then when you click on documents, where it says under contract, if you click on that one, this is where a lot of people will ask me, what contracts do I need? Well, if you get into Docusign, if you get into command, get into opportunities, click on documents, click on under contract, there's a whole list here. It's telling you what you would need. The ones that Max is looking for in order for you to get paid is your buyer's representation agreement. That's going to be one. Then we're also looking for your executed contract, your vendor disclosure, your IABS, all of these documents. So you may say to me, well, Shelyna, I went into Docusign and I didn't see that document. Any document that looks like this, that has a line underneath of it, is clickable. So you can click it and it will bring the document right up. Now you can download this document in order to add it into Docusign. So now Marissa's ready to write a contract. So I'm here and I say, oh my gosh, what do I do? Start a transaction. Once you hit start a transaction, that will automatically take you over to Docusign. You just log into Docusign. You'll get an email like I just did that says you've been invited to a room. You just started a room. That's how I get into Docusign. So now that I'm in Docusign, I need to get Marissa her rep agreement. I need to get her the contracts that she needs to get ready to purchase a home. So the first thing, typically for me, if I'm meeting in person, I'll have them sign everything right there. If I do that, I can scan it in and upload it because this system allows you to click and drag so you can drop a document here. But let's say she isn't. I'm going to click on the plus for add. And there's several ways, as you can see, that you can add a contract. The two that I use are computer, which is basically anything that you have already saved onto your computer, and Docusign Forms. So when you click on Docusign Forms, well, let me go back. I want to make sure I go over this. When you're in Docusign, your dashboard lets you know where to go. So let's say you logged into Docusign and it brought you here. And you're like, oh my gosh, where do I go? Where's my client information? All you need to do is click on Rooms. And then this pops up. And then you just find that client that you were just working on. There she is right here. And I just click on her. And it brings me right to here. So when I get here, I have details. This gives me all. The reason I don't fill this out is because the contract will, the way Docusign is set up, it will try to overwrite my signature and take my signature out where I need it to go. And I don't like messing with Docusign for that. So I don't edit this page, but you're more than welcome to do that. The next page is Documents. The next one is People. So this is KW Admin. These are the ones that we submit our documents to. An envelope is every time you had to have her sign a contract, it created an envelope. Any messages, and this shows you the history. So let's say someone says to you, oh, you didn't send me that document. Okay, well, first, Docusign is going to tell you that they opened it, and then you can come here to the history and see what happened. So now we're going to go to Documents. I'm going to click the plus button, and I'm going to click Docusign Forms. Now, when that pops up, you have these two drop downs. These are both drop downs. The first one is a library, Docusign Groups. And when you click on Groups, these are documents that the office has already put in here together for you in groups. So the first one is all the forms that you would need to work with a buyer. So let me go back. You had library and then you had group. If you clicked on group, and then down here, the office has already created a folder of documents that you would need to work with a buyer, a leasee, a leaser, and a seller. So you have a buyer, a lease listing agreement. So this is for the leaser, the person you're signing it for, a listing agreement, and then for a tenant. So now those documents are all here. You can check the ones you want, affiliate business, mandatory HOA, 1 to 4 family, non-realty agreement. So when you say, well, what contracts does the office want? They put it right here in the group for you. So I do protect your family from lead. And that's about it. So you won't need an amendment until you actually need to amend the contract. You won't need the walkthrough until at the end. Oh, the COVID addendum. And this to terminate for lender's appraisal. That's if you're going to go super high over list price. Of course, you want to make sure you get that. And that's it. So then you hit add those forms. And now those forms are here in Docusign. Let's say that there is a form that you want to add here that wasn't in that group. So for instance, if I click add, and you can always come back here and add documents at any time. Let's say I wanted to stay on library and I click forms. You have two choices of libraries. You have KW93, and these are just more forms in here that the office uses. So maybe you got a referral. Square footage notice, withdrawal of an offer. There's other things here that the office put in advisory for open houses. But then if you click on Texas Association of Realtors, and it is no longer called Texas Association of Realtors, it's just TR, but we haven't updated that yet. These are all the contracts for Texas Realtors. So if your client wants to do a backup offer, one of the things that I do is about an inspection. I want my clients to get an inspection. So what I'll do is I'll type in INS, and it will just start auto-populating what it thinks you're looking for. So what I have my clients do is I have them read for your protection, get a home inspection. And I also have them read information about property insurance for a buyer and inspector information. because I want to make it known that I told them to get these things. So all I did was I typed in INS and it finished the rest. And it populated these. So if you have like general information wasn't there, but let's say you want to add it. All you got to do is click on Add, Docusign Form, leave it on Library, Texas Realtors, click in the box and start GEN. There it is, General Information Notice. It says to sellers, but it's the same. There's more like commercial leases, addendum. I mean, there's so many options here. Texas Realtors has a lot of contracts that you can choose from. So now you have the contracts in here and you want to sign them or have your client sign them. There are several ways that you can fill these contracts out before you actually submit for signatures. So I'm going to show you what I would do for the buyer's representation agreement. So here the contract is in your Docusign form. First thing I would do is actually click on the document because this is a Word document form. So I'm going to click on the actual document. And when I do that, it allows me to fill it out here instead of having to go into an envelope and fill it out. And so now I just fill this out. I think I spelled her name wrong, so sorry. It's 2 R's, I believe, right? No, I did have it right. Okay. All right, so we're gonna add a 123 Banana Street. That's how I'm gonna spell banana. Fill out her information. And then I have Keller Williams Realty. Oh, wow. Okay, fingers are just not working today. Now, when I fill this out, of course, I'm adding my information and then my email. And then you just go on and you continue to fill this all out. Once you've filled this all out and checked all the boxes you want to check, then you hit Save and Close. So now I want to have her fill out this one. I want her to sign wire. I want her to see protect your family from lead, affiliate, IABS, inspector information, protect your family, get an inspection. So all the contracts that I want her to sign right now, all I did was I hovered over the actual envelope and then a circle appears. When you click that circle, this bar at the top shows up. And in this bar, you can copy the document. You can move it to another room or another folder or another location. You can email it to yourself or someone else. You can combine it into one document. You can create an envelope, which is what we're going to do to get signatures. You can archive it. If you archive it, you can always unarchive it. So let's say I accidentally hit archive. It's going to ask you to confirm before you even do it. So if you click that by accident, you just hit cancel. Unarchive and delete. So now I'm clicking and I'm filling out information that I want this particular client to have filled out for me. Save and close. And now I'm ready to send this to her for signatures. So I'm going to click on the little pin that says create envelope. So now I get over, this is going to keep spinning, just keep spinning. I feel like Dory from Finding Nemo. Sure, it's taking a long time. There we go. Now you're inside of an envelope. So the first thing it's going to ask you to do is to name the envelope. This is for your internal purposes. So I'm going to name this envelope buyer rep. There it is, buyer rep agreement. These are all the envelopes all the documents that I wanted. And let's say here, I added a document that I don't want her to sign. Well, all I have to do is click the X and it will say, do you want to remove it? And hit remove. But let's say, oh no, I actually need that document. Then what you're going to do is right here, it says you're going to add. Do you want to add a room doc? Do you want to add a template? Or do you want to upload? Well, it's already in the room. So I click it and then you'll get a list of all the documents that you had put in that room. And there it is. And I forgot that I needed the vendor list. So click on that too. Hit add selected and there they are. You can move the order. So like say I want IABS first, affiliate business disclosure, information about property and tech for your protection, get a home inspection, all of that. Okay, protect your family from lead. I want that here. Wire fraud. I'll keep that there, vendor notice. Okay. So all I did was click and drag, click and drag. Now this is asking you, well, who do you want to get this? So when I first logged into Docusign, there was a screen that said people. If you added them, all you would need to do is click on this where it says add recipient. You have 3 roles in here. You have pre-tagged role. So that means you've already put someone in here and they already had a pre-tagged role as a buyer. You can click on that. Or room participant. So Marissa is a room participant and there's her email address. So I'm going to click her and then there's me because I also need to sign it. And then I'll hit add selected. But let's say I did neither of those and I need to click on this and manually add myself. All I'm going to do is type in the first and last name. And then you can also copy and paste the email address here. Now, here's the thing about copy and paste. If you're going to copy and paste an email address here, if there's a space in between when you paste it, it doesn't recognize that space. It's a weird little quirk that I found. All you got to do is hit the back button and it will recognize it. So let me explain what these numbers are over here. These numbers are asking you in what order do you want them to sign? Do you want everyone to get the contracts at the same time and it doesn't matter when they sign? Or do you want Marissa to get it first, then I get it? Or let's say you added someone who shouldn't be added there. All you got to do is exit and remove them. Or let's say you want to add someone who you just want to view the document once it's signed. So let's say you're submitting an offer and once it's signed, once the 1 to 4 family contract is signed, you want it to be automatically sent over to the listing agent. And then you'll write a message and say, hello, here's your offer on 123 Main Street. Then you would just add the listing agent as number 3 and then click needs to view. You also have receives a copy. And so that just can be someone who is just getting a copy. Add access authentication. I wouldn't do that in a private message. I wouldn't do that because this is going to require password setups. And that's just going to confuse buyers and turn them off, or sellers and turn them off from signing. So I don't touch that. And then down here, this is what they're going to see when they get the email. So the email subject for me is your documents. And the message is, hello, here are your documents we discussed. Done. Now I hit next. If you hit save and close, it just goes back to an envelope. Nothing happens if you hit save and close. No one's going to get it. So now you're in here where you're ready to add signatures. So there's a couple of things that I want to go over on the sidebars. First of all, over here is you have the party's name. And if you click on the drop-down button, everyone who's involved in the transaction that you added is going to have a different color in front of their name. It's usually yellow, blue, and then purple, and then their name next to it. Then you'll have signatures, which is exactly as it sounds. Initials, the date sign, which is basically going to date stamp it. If you want to add a name, an email, a company, a title. If you want to add a text, a checkbox, a drop down. The only ones on here that I use are signature, initial. You may use date, sign, text, and checkbox. Over here, the other things that I may use are called markup tools. Let's say you made a mistake and you don't want to go all the way back out. You can click up markup tools, click on the line, and just cross out what you want to fix. You don't want it there? Then just come over here on this side and hit delete. So going back over here, I want to add signatures. And depending on what you click over here will change. So again, what you click over here will cause over here to change. What you see over here is the list of documents in the order that I moved them before I got here. So there's your TREC IABS, there's your affiliate disclosure, protect your family. So let's say you want to jump around and you say, well, let me see the wire fraud. All you got to do is click that drop down and then click the actual document. And it will pull up that document that you want. But now you say, no, I want to go back to the IABS. Okay, click it, and it takes you right back. So now you're in here and you need to add for signatures. First, any questions before I continue? Awesome. Remember, you can always unmute and ask me any questions you may have. So now I need to add initials. First thing is this page, her name is already there. So I'm just going to click initial. I don't need to drag it. I just click and then click again. And then I want to add the date. So I can either add a text box, drop it, add the date, or say I don't want that. I'll come over here and click date signed, and then I'll drop it. So the date that she signs is what it's going to date that for. So you have options on that. Then I come up here to the next document. I just scroll down. I don't know why that says, I must have added the wrong one. So for this one, this is a document that does not require a signature. However, I add it because I want my client to acknowledge that I gave them this. So all I have to do is come over here, grab initial, drop it where I want it, and then keep moving. Grab initial, drop it where I want it. I'll do that on the bottom of each page. And then when I'm done, I'll move over to the next contract. So I'm going to move over to, for your protection, get a home inspection. This one also is just an FYI, but I have my client sign right there, and then date signed somewhere over here. That helps me know that they acknowledge they received it. Whether they read it or not, they got it. Same thing for information about a home inspection. This is actually a Texas Realtor contract. It doesn't say sample on it. And you can actually add the signatures here for that. Residential buyer rep agreement, inspector information. You can add, I tell them you can choose to hire. Here's where the checkboxes come in. So receipt of this notice is acknowledged that I choose to hire. So I'm just going to click on checkbox. I'm going to place it right here. And then over here, if you notice, this changed. So if you click on formatting, no, where is it? Oh, I'm sorry, checkbox values. And you click that, it checks the checkbox. So again, I just went here, checkbox values, click it, and it checks the checkbox. That's it. So then I continue down. Again, you want her to initial her part, but I have to initial too. So there's a couple of ways I can do that. I can come up here and change the name to mine, then hit initial and drop it. Or let's say I made a mistake. Let's say I made a mistake and put Marissa here, but it should be me. All I need to do is click where it says initial, and then come up here and change it from her to me. And then I can do the same over here. Click it, come up here. It's under the recipient part and change it. Okay. Now, let's say that you realized, oh no, I need to send them another contract and it's not in here. I got to back out because I don't want to have a bunch of, documents in my client's email. Well, you're going to click this button that says back. And then as soon as you hit that button that says back, you're going to immediately panic because you're going to say, I didn't save anything. Don't worry, Docusign saved it for you. So that information that you had put in there is still in there. It didn't go away. You can add whatever the document is. You can add another person here and you'll be totally fine. You just hit the next button and it pops right back up. So let's say you're coming down here to so as you can see, it's still there. There it is. So let's say you're doing the residential rep agreement and you spelled her address wrong. Or let's say you forgot to put something in on the other page and you want to add it now. All you do is you come over here to the text button, click it, and then bring it over here, drop it where you want it. Now, if you notice, this little bar over here popped up. There's a couple of things that I do on this bar that are very important. The first thing is I click read only. The reason I click read only is because if you don't, when your client gets this, if you did not check read only, the system is going to ask your client to fill it in. And it's going to tell them, hey, we can't let you move forward until you fill this in. So I click read only. I come down here I reformat my box to make it bigger, to make it smaller, to make it longer. And all I did to do that was, here's my crazy mouse flying. When I get over the box, it turns into a white glove. And I find the corner I want and I just stretch it or I minimize it. And then you can either type, I come right to the text box and start typing. Boom, there's her email. Because she is. And now I have it in there. So let's say, oh no, I made a mistake. I don't need that in there. You can delete it out. And then you just continue with the document the way that you were headed. So let's say the client says, well, hold off on sending that because I got to check something out. So what you'll do is you'll go back out. And let's say your client says, okay, hold off. I need to meet with you. You're going to hit save and close. Yes.
Okay, so you were like, what if you said something about like if you had the wrong address? Is the only way you can change the address by using that slash thing to slash it out, or is there a way of like, changing the address if you had it in there wrong? You understand what I'm saying? Like, how you said that you
go back to documents and you can find that actual document that you did it on. And you can, I believe it was this one. And anything that you've changed in Docusign, it does not change out here. It didn't update it. So it's you notice it's not there.
Well, I meant the address. If you had the wrong address, like you said 123 Band Street and you wanted to make it Banana Street, how could you change that? Do you have to exit out or can you change it in the document?
This is one way you can change it.
Okay.
Come back here and you just click wherever you made the mistake.
Okay. Gotcha.
And save and close. However, if you do it this way, you're going to have to remove the one that you were already working on and re-add it. When you re-add it, let me show you what I mean. So now I have an envelope that's in drafts. So I'm going to go back into that envelope. And where is that document? There it is. So here is the document. I'm going to click on view. And here it is. It's been updated. 123 Richard Avenue.
Okay. Thank you.
That's one way to do it. Yes. Another way to do it is if you're already in the envelope, you can just, so what I did, where's my button? Here we go. So if you're already in the envelope, you can change it because you made the text changes in there. So you can just open the envelope back up and make the change. Where you can't make the change is if you did it outside of here. So like say for instance, I came in here and I'm sorry, let me go back. Whatever you type on a document out here, when you put it inside that envelope, it's coming over as a sign, as a PDF. So you won't be able to change it once it comes over. So once I put in, because you notice her email didn't change here. The email that I put in over there didn't change here. So it doesn't communicate when it's done in the envelope, it won't communicate out here.
Okay.
When it's done out here, it will communicate in the envelope.
Okay.
So I changed it to 123 Richardson Avenue here. And then I'm going back to her envelope. I'm going back to drafts. I'm going into the actual envelope. And here's the agreement. So this is a PDF. It won't let me touch it.
Okay.
I would have to either mark it up and do a text next to it or go back out. And notice that email address is gone now.
Yep.
So I would need to come back in here, put this back, add the email address, and then go from there. So it's so much easier if you fill these documents out before you get them in the envelope. And I highly recommend, if you're drawing a text box like this, always check read only unless you intentionally want that client to answer a question. The only time I usually don't check read only is if I'm doing this for someone for a lease. But other than that, I always check read only. Otherwise, you're telling your client to go ahead and change something or fill something out.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Good question. Once you're ready for your client to sign, then you'll hit the send button. And I will not send this to Marissa because it's going to drive her crazy. But once your client gets the send, a message is going to pop up in your email when they open it. So the moment that that person opens a Docusign, you'll be notified that they are viewing the Docusign. Once they've signed it, you'll be notified that they've signed the Docusign. Once all parties have signed the Docusign, it will say your Docusign is complete. Here's a copy of it, and it will send you a PDF version. So you'll know exactly when the client has opened it, and you'll know exactly when it's been sent. Then you can have as many, I have some rooms that have hundreds of envelopes because of all the changes that we've had to make. So you can have as many envelopes as necessarily needed. There's no limit on how many envelopes you have that I've found. And trust me, I got some rooms in here. You'd be like, oh, goodness gracious. So now your client has signed and you're ready to submit this to compliance so you can get paid. And you're like, but how do I do that? So now you come back here to command, and command says, well, we need you to upload these documents. So what you're going to do is click on add a file, and then this pops up. So it says that you can manually add, you can go to Docusign, or you can go to a custom folder, or you can click and drag. Well, if I click on Docusign, because this is connected to Docusign, Docusign sees all the documents that I have in that room, and now I can just click one and hit assign. So now whatever that document is, I've just assigned it into this room. And I can always click it and say, oh crap, that was the wrong one. So if that was the wrong one, you just click on the 3 dots and you can remove it. Gone. Now, let's say you're in Docusign and you have a listing and you need your client to sign the listing. You need your client to sign the agreement that they accept the offer. So you're just going to click on add and go to computer and find the document. Let's see. I have no idea what I just added. We'll see. So when it comes in as a PDF. Close your eyes just in case it's something bad. Just kidding. Apparently, whatever it is, it doesn't want to open. So let's go find something else. Computer. Okay, here's an amendment. Please, oh, here's something. Please DocuSign. Open. All right, and now that I have this in here, I'm just going to click on the little circle, or I can click it, but because this is a PDF, I can't do anything with it. So I just click the little circle and then create an envelope. And this is going to be executed contract. And then down here, if I want to view it, I can click that. And then it will pop up. There's the contract. And then I say, who do I want involved? So I can click the email and I can say Shelyna. And then I can add my email. And then the email is going to say your new contract. Please sign the contract so we can move forward. Next. Same concept as the other contracts, as the other ones that I previously had in here. All you're going to do is find the spots that need initials. You're going to click on initial and you're going to drop it. That's it. Again, you're going to find where it needs an initial, drop it, and move on to the next page. If you want to skip ahead to a page, you can just click the actual document, scroll down till you find that page, and then this is it. Signature, dropped. And then hit send. That's it. You can pretty much sign any PDF from inside of DocuSign. This is how, when I'm sending my, if I do a repair amendment and the repairs that I request are too long, I'll just do it on a Google Doc, save it, download it, add it to DocuSign for signatures. All right, let's see. What questions do you guys have? I walked you through how to create an envelope. Details is where you'll add people, where you can add people. You'll click edit, and then you can just add as much information, as little as you want. There's the people. Envelopes is just a set of documents, and documents are what they are. What questions do you have?
I have one question, Shelyna. Whenever I'm filling out a 1 to 4, what was my question? Oh my God, I had a total. Oh, when I put the option fee out, so like, let's say I put, I don't know, let's just say $100, and I put decimal point 00. When I go in, the decimal point 00 is gone. Like, it takes it out. Is there a way around that or no?
You're filling it out by clicking that, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's you found DocuSign's flaw. DocuSign, for whatever reason, does not recognize that ... So she brought up an excellent point. Whenever you're doing a contract and you filled it out here, when you go to the envelope, I still highly recommend you review that document before you send it off for signature, because that is one of DocuSign's flaws. It does not recognize the .00, and it completely takes everything that you put in that line out. So what you'll need to do is, when you get in here, so even though I know I manually put stuff in here, I'm just going to go through the contract to verify it's still there. And when I get to that page, that's not a 1 to 4. Let me go back and I'll add a 1 to 4. Room doc. There we go. So what she's saying is, for those of you who have not seen this issue happen, what she's saying is, I am here in documents and I pull up the 1 to 4 family contract and I'm filling out the 1 to 4 family contract and I get to the option period page, and I type in $100 ... for 10 days. What she is saying is when she goes to the envelope, that has disappeared. And that was for a very long time a flaw of Docusign. So let's go to the envelope and see if it's still there. And it's gone. So that is something that for whatever reason, Docusign does not recognize that line. So what I recommend you do is when you bring the contracts over, make sure you review to ensure everything is still where it needs to be. Don't rely on the computer to make sure that it was done right. Come right in here, find the page. And all you got to do is grab your text box, drop it, read only, done. Oh, well, if I add extra 0, done. Text. So that is something that I forever don't know why Docusign does that. I don't know if it's because of the dot. I don't know, but Docusign takes it out. So thank you. Yes, please make sure that even if you fill it out there, you come back in here and just verify. Thank you, Marissa. Anybody else? I either went too fast and I lost you, I went too slow and I lost you, or you got it. Which one we got? Okay, well, give me some feedback.
I think it was all great information. I think, yeah, you just need to make sure that you just look over your contracts one more time before you send anything off, because I've done that and there's like no option money when I know I put that option money in there.
Mm-hmm. And then you send it over to the other agent and they're like, oh, so you don't want an option period? I'm like, wait a minute, that's not what I said.
Yes, so just be careful with that.
Okay, thank you, thank you. What else? Let's see. What else? Lincoln. Oh, Lord, I done lost Lincoln already. Lincoln, I done lost you. Jasmine? Nobody wants to talk to me today. What is it?
Shelyna, it's Sandra.
Hey, Sandra, thank you
How
for
you
talking to me.
doing? Yeah, no, I think this is great. But oh my God, it's just a lot of stuff to remember, Shelyna. I did one contract and I just filled it out in a PDF and then uploaded it to Docusign.
That's an option too. So most of my contracts, I actually hand fill out with my client if I'm meeting with them, and then I upload it to Docusign. Docusign can be easy or hard. And let me tell you what I mean by that. It can be easy if you've practiced before you get with a client. It's going to be hard if you waited for that client to practice and now you're rushing and now it's become difficult.
Yeah.
So I recommend that you get in here. My husband has several rooms in Docusign because I was a dot loop fanatic. I'd used dot loop for 4 years. And to get me to come to Docusign, to get me to teach this class, you had to pay me because I'm not doing it. I didn't want to do Docusign. I didn't like it. It was too complicated, too much to do, too many boxes and windows. Nobody got time for that. But I realized that pretty soon we were no longer using dot loop. And it was either I got with it or I wasn't going to get paid. So I had to come in here and practice it. And I wanted to see what my client, what it would look like on their end when they got it. So that's why I would send some to myself. I would send some to my husband. And I would say, okay, let me see what it looks like when you got it in your email. I would practice filling. This is how, when you're practicing for your buyer or seller conversation and you're filling out a contract, this is a perfect opportunity to take to practice that. Thank you for that feedback. Miss Sinadu, any feedback?
This is Tina, and we know there's so many things to remember, and so we not do this, every day, so it's very easy to forget. So do you have, like step-by-step, instruction, or maybe the cheat sheet, so whenever we need to use it, and then we can refer to.
Like a written step-by-step instead of
Yeah, something like that.
I can check with Lori. I believe Eddie may have sent one out a long time ago. Let me make a note of that and see if Lori has one
Thank you.
from Eddie. Yes, you're welcome. All right. Anyone else?
Just a quick question.
Yes.
All the document we should download from Track, right? All the document in your Docusign.
Let me go back out. Are all the documents from Track?
Yes, Track on Track website or not?
Yes, all the documents will be on Track website, but they're also here. So Docusign is connected to the contracts that Trek would have on their website. And so if you come here, like when I clicked on add and I'm on library, if I click on Texas Realtors, there are contracts, there's TXR contracts here.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So it's a whole list of contracts. So I usually say, instead of you scrolling, just type in the first, like, maybe I want the lead safe certified guide to renovate right. Maybe I want that and I want to add it. If it's not here, then I recommend going to Trek's website, downloading and uploading.
Okay, gotcha. So we just need to go Docusign website and register it, and all the documents in the website, in the Docusign website, right?
Yes, but make sure you go there from here, from command. So when
From
you,
command, okay.
Yeah, because when you do that, it will automatically sign you. Well, if it's your first time, it's going to ask you for your username. So see right here, I can click go to transaction, and it's going to open a new window and take me directly to Docusign.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you. Very useful.
Yeah, so it's all interconnected. And if there's a document that you need that's not here, as long as it's a Trek document or a Texas Realtors document, you can always download it and upload it right into here.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Awesome. Any other questions or concerns that I may be able to help with?
Yes, if you do find something a step-by-step, I know like I go through this once in a while, but like if there is, that's something that's helpful, because like, at the moment you don't want to sit there and ask a million people. So if you have something like that, can I put my name in the chat? And if you have it, if they have,
I'm going to ask Lori to send it out.
Okay.
Well, I'm trying to think. Eddie would have sent it out. Actually, we did a couple of months ago. Eddie did, we did a tech thing. I can't remember what it was called, maybe about a month ago, 2 months ago. And each week he sent out an email, and I want to say this was in here, and everybody in the Market Center should have gotten that. Let me check with Lori, and I will see if we could upload that to the files in our KW page. So everyone will be able to get that. But of course, we'll send a message saying, hey, the click sheet is here. So yes, absolutely. We'll make sure you get it. Let me make a note of everyone that was here today. Give me just
thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. That would be very helpful.
Who's that?
Molly.
Oh, all right. Got you, Molly.
Sandy Aarons.
Amaka.
Amaka. And who was the one who asked me for
Sandy Aarons.
Sandra. Okay. All right. I got you guys down. If we do have it, I will send it over to you, because again, I believe it was created. I just don't have it in my hands. But I would also recommend you guys practice this, get in here, play with it, break the system. You can't really break it. They have a tech team that'll just come and fix it. So just play around with it, make mistakes with it, experiment. I like to click a button and say, ooh, what does that do? Oh, that's all it does. Oh, what does this do? Oh, archive documents. Oh, I don't have anything. Okay, cool. All documents.
Did you put my name in? Tina Wong?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You know what? I need to get y'all's last names, because we do have, oops, I did not mean to click that. Got Tina Wong, Molly, Sandra, and Cindy. Okay. All right, got you guys. Any other questions?
Nope, I'm good.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys being here. This video will be added to the KW Plano videos page on YouTube so that you guys can jump on in there and rewatch this. There's several different versions of this that have been done. So you can hop in and watch each version and have fun with it. Go get you some contracts. Bye, guys.
Thanks,
Bye.
Shelyna.
Bye, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.